I'm Megan Mitchell. This is my co-host, John Morrison, and you are listening to the True North Racing Podcast.
Ain't no hesitation, got me going crazy. Keep it moving, I'm tuned in to True North Racing, the podcast that you need if you got the need for speed. Jon Morrison interviewing guests in the industry. Hey, short track, stock car racing, gotta get it hype. Saturday night under the lights, hear the engine rooming by. Smell the gas and feel the vibe, going into overdrive. Drop the flag, then the car zooming by. Hey, True North Racing, let's go.
Welcome back to a new week of the True North Racing Podcast, brought to you by Joan Media Promotions. I'm your host, Jon Morrison. Joining me, as always, our amazing co-host, Megan Mitchell. Megan, how are you?
Pretty good. How are you, John?
I'm tired. I'm going to be honest. I'm really tired.
I feel you.
I feel like this weekend, last week, I don't know, I'm sure you can tell. I'm a little under the weather this week. I don't know if you can tell or not. Last Thursday, started feeling congested, and man, have I been tired since. Like,
that's exactly what's going through. Pretty sure it's going through my house. Like, I don't typically get coughs and stuff, but that's where I'm at.
oh boy, it's not a fun feeling.
No.
Like, I don't know. I did take a COVID test on Friday. I know it's not COVID. Or Thursday I did one. It's not COVID, but it's so weird how we knew this was gonna happen though. Like, we all didn't get sick for two years. We pull all this stuff back. It's like, everyone's sick. You get sickness. But we're not gonna get into that because we are a racing podcast.
Yeah.
And we all have our own opinions on it. And I'm not gonna sit here and just saying what I feel has happened to a lot of us. How's your week since the last time we chatted?
Not bad. I had to go to London for a work conference for Thursday and Friday. Yeah, so
wow, look at you, Miss World Traveler.
Right? Like
Okay.
Oh, and I did an escape room for the very first time.
And how was that?
It was freaking fun.
Like, oh yeah,
I'm addicted now. Like, I might give up racing just to do escape rooms all the time.
Because you will be trapped the entire time, or
well, it's fun. It was cool.
Where'd you guys go? Was that in London?
Yeah, it was at Escapeology in London.
Shout out to Escapeology for locking Megan in her room for
for an hour.
For an hour. Now the question is, were you guys able to get out of there pretty easily? Or were there some hiccups?
There were a couple.
Be honest. We
did pretty good. We got out with 5 minutes left. So
okay.
For two of us, I felt like that was pretty good.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Like, we were on a roll.
I've always wanted to do an escape room. They seem fun.
They're really fun. I was iffy. Yeah. They're really fun. Like, I loved it.
How was the drive down, especially with the weather we got on Wednesday and into Thursday?
It wasn't too bad, but I mean, I let my friend from work drive because I'm not a big highway person, which everyone laughs at me because they're like, you drive a race car, but you don't like driving on the highways. What's wrong with you? I'm like, I don't have safety equipment in my truck on the highway. Like, I don't feel as comfortable, but it wasn't too bad. Like, it could have been a lot worse. It could have been a lot better, but we made it there and back, so that was all right.
Exactly. You're home in one piece. That's all that matters.
Mm-hmm.
That's all right. Got any fun plans for the week ahead?
Nope, just work.
No.
My dad's birthday's tomorrow, so we'll have cake and stuff.
Happy birthday, Rick. We got to throw that. When this airs, happy belated birthday, but when we record, happy birthday, Rick. I'll have to make sure I get a post out there tomorrow to wish him a happy birthday. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I know Jacqueline has to message you guys for next weekend.
Yeah.
Because y'all got bridesmaid shopping.
Yeah.
Excited for that?
Yeah, I've never done. Never done that before.
Funny enough, I don't think any of them have either, so we're good.
We're all on the same page.
Exactly. I'm sure you guys are gonna have a fun time. Frick. Finally, for the first times in a month, I've had my kids for the full weekend.
Nice.
Yeah, I was happy to see them. You saw them. I know you saw them last Monday for a couple minutes when we stopped by. And seen you. Yeah, this was the first time I had them in a full week for a full weekend. Because 2 weekends ago they were sick. Last weekend they had lice, and trust me, you can imagine my fear when I pulled up to pick them up, and I was like, "Please, for the love of God, please, no more."
Right.
No more sickness, no more anything. Let me just have a good weekend with them.
And
sure enough, their attitudes were all out of whack. But it was good having them. I enjoyed having them back again because I do miss them. I love them with all my heart. I gotta reach out. I gotta talk to Alex because while y'all are bridesmaid shopping, I may make a trip up to Arthur and go see Mr. Stewart.
Nice.
And maybe shoot a video with him. I guess we'll find out. One thing I wanted to bring up is the winner will already be announced, but we're gonna do it. When y'all hear it, the winners are gonna be posted on social media. But we are gonna do the draw right now when we're recording. So no one won last week's race, or no one won our prize pack we put out there to see who was gonna win for the 500. No one won. No one picked Ricky Stenhouse Jr. This week, we have 4 people in the hunt. We have Nick Tooley, William Rutherford, Michael Wallace, and Nathan Detweiler. We are going to spin, and the last one standing is going to be the winner of our prize pack that we had put out there on social media. So let's have some fun with this. I'm gonna record it with my phone too, and that way we can more people believe that we're not just saying like rigging this,
just BS in this whole thing.
Exactly right. I could be like, oh, da 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 da. So like people who are watching is like, what the hell is he doing? Anyways, so with the first spin, let's see where it stops. Man, this thing's spinning for a while. Let's see. Oh, Michael Wallace is our first to be eliminated. We are down to William Rutherford, Nick Toole, and people are going to be so upset with what just saw it because it looked like Michael Wallace won.
Oh,
because that's what it said. It said congratulations.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't the winner.
Elimination style.
Elimination style. I should be doing this live on Facebook.
Could be.
Nathan Detweiler is the next to be eliminated.
This is like the only race that you'll ever be in. We're coming last.
Is a good thing.
Is the good thing, yeah. Like,
you know what? I'm gonna quickly go live here. Because this is gonna be interesting as all hell. Because we've never done this. Can I go live? Live video. Look at that. Go live. Oh. How's it going, everyone? I'm Jon Morrison, hosting the True North Racing podcast right now. Behind me here, we got Megan Mitchell. Megan, you want to give a quick wave to everyone? They can't hear you, unfortunately, because I got my headphones on. But guys, we are here after the Auto Club Speedways race today, and we are doing our countdown. We have already, unfortunately, knocked out 2 people, Nathan Detweiler and Michael Wallace. They, unfortunately, were the 2 people who were knocked out of the race here early on. We are down to William Rutherford and Nick Tooley. Whoever is the last one standing will win the Jomo Media prize pack. So let's get it spinning. And the winner is, come on now. Let's stop. And let's see what happens. And Nick Tooley. Nick Tooley is our winner of our Jomo Media prize pack. Congratulations, Nick. Thank you everyone who participated in our fun little, supposed to be Daytona 500 giveaway prize pack, but hey, might as well hold on to it and see who wins it, right? I think that's the better way to do it. We're gonna let you guys go. We got to get back to recording the True North Racing podcast because we got to get Kevin Small on here tonight. Once again, congratulations to Nick Tooley on winning. We'll catch you guys later. See you soon. All right, there we go. That's ending. It's ended. We're good. It's up on social media. Post, never delete. Then that way we're good.
Yeah.
It's up there. We're good. I'm happy. Nick Tooley's your winner. Gotta close out that for right now. I've already been working on. Okay, I'm Megan. I'm sorry. I got to do this to you. You're gonna hate me. So I messaged Megan tonight. I thought I was gonna be late, and Megan knows where this is going. Sorry, Megan. So I've already started doing all our season season write-ups here with all our Joe Media drivers. I already got 3 drivers write-ups done, posted or not posted, but scheduled to post and ready to go on the website. One of the people I got back pretty much right away was Megan's sister, Rachel. Like no more than an hour.
She got to work quick.
She got to work real quick. And oh my God. Megan, I seen had she never opened it. And then I think I'm like in McDonald's drive-thru tonight coming home. And all of a sudden she goes, I just seen this. Megan, how did you feel?
I felt kind of stupid for a minute because Rachel called me and she texted me. She's like, what does Jon mean by the intro song? And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, this Jomo Media information thing Jon sent. I'm like, I don't know. Jon never sent me one. Just kidding.
I'm sorry, where was it?
It was in my inbox. It was not opened yet.
I had sent it. I made sure you were one of the first ones to get it. Oh my God. That was priceless how it came all full circle because Rachel's, I sent it to your sister. I got it written up today. I have it saved, ready to go, scheduled for Tuesday. And then I just see this. Should have checked your inbox.
Literally, I don't even remember it saying that you sent me anything. And I'm like, I forget what I was doing, but I went to Messenger and I'm like, Jon sent an attachment. I wonder what that is.
You've got mail.
Literally, wow. Okay. I thought you forgot about me.
I can't forget about you, Megan. Oh my God.
I'm not that observant, to be honest. Like, I'm really bad at opening messages. I'm not gonna lie.
I've noticed sometimes. Like we're like, there's times we've scheduled to meet up, and then it's like 15 minutes. I'm like, Megan, I need you to open this up. Oh my God.
Or you'll message me that I'm here, and then I don't actually I watched you pull in, but I never actually open the message or anything, and then I open it after you leave, and I'm like, oh, Jon was here.
You know what? There's times I've done that. I'm gonna be honest. I've done that. I've left my phone, seen someone pop up, and I usually do this to Jacqueline.
Mm-hmm.
If she's meeting up with me or whatever, and I don't touch my phone, I'll leave it alone. After she leaves, yeah, I just seen you 5 minutes ago. I will mess with that person each and every time.
Oh yeah,
That's the fun part. But yeah, guys, we do have our Joe Media drivers write-ups scheduled for tomorrow. I got my first 3 done. Gonna continue getting. I got a lot to do. There's a lot of write-ups that need to be done for this year, and there's still time. Like, Jacqueline wants me to put a cap on how many drivers I'm dealing with this year. I'm not putting a cap on how many drivers we deal with this year. If you would like to be a part of Joe Media for 2023, message us today. We can help you guys with write-ups, pictures, videos, vlogs, giveaways, whatever. Well, not whatever, because we do have limitations on what we can do. I am just one person. We are just a couple people who do this for fun. But yeah, because I like I said, August 12th, I think you need to step aside from the seat for the night and come out with me to Brighton.
That'd be cool. I mean, my dad is my co-driver, so
exactly. It's can't be too bad, right? We'll go out to Brighton, have some fun, hang out with Connor Ellis and the guys from Cow Pro Motorsports. That would be a lot of fun, and see what it's like to and watch those guys slinging on the dirt. I feel like I had a lot more to say tonight, but now I'm just blanking on it all. Don't you hate when that happens?
Yep.
We're just waiting on our guest Kevin to get in here tonight. He is the Flamboro Speedway announcer. He just completed his first year last year. I've been wanting to get him on for a while because I wanted to talk to him about how about what his roles are at the track. This is our first announcer to come on. So it's one of those things is like, one, I love announcing. I love the idea of announcing. I've never done it myself besides me just sitting here playing on my PS4 and just acting like a moron and just going. You can attest because Michael Kenny's heard me there. We're just sitting there playing. I'm like, and coming on the high side is the number 9 of John Morrison, and he's pinching him the number 07 pretty good on the inside. He's like, dude, how did you just call us for like 10 laps? And like you didn't give up anything.
No.
Like, oh my God. I'm gonna have to get some water here before Kevin gets in. So guys, while we wait for Kevin, I don't even know why I answer while we wait, because we're the ones who are waiting, not y'all. So I'm gonna cut this out. So let's bring in this week's guest, the announcer of Flamboro Speedway, Kevin Small. All right, guys, this week's guest, I've been looking forward to this one for a while now. We got Kevin Small, the announcer of Flamboro Speedway, coming on. Kevin, how are you, man?
I'm doing good. Long day, but excited. Happy to be here with you guys. So it should be fun.
Awesome. How was it's weird because we've never had anyone who's like an announcer come on the show before, so we can't really ask how the off season's going, but at the same time we can. How's the off season? How's been the winter going for you? That'll be the best question to ask here.
It's been good. I mean, it's kind of been good because I do a lot of the background stuff for Flamboro Speedway as well. Website updates, all that kind of stuff. So kind of going through the winter, I was able to kind of retool some of the website, which is good because during race season, it's a little bit too busy and it's hard to kind of do everything all the time. So doing all the work ahead of time to get it planned and ready to go is good. So that's what the winter's, what I kind of use the winter for. I took a couple people from Delhi. They run a hockey team, and they were looking for an announcer for their senior hockey team that they just started this year. And they'd heard me at the racetrack, so I'd sent over hey, I'm interested, and everything kind of worked out. So I started doing the senior hockey announcing down there in Delhi. So it was kind of filled up a bunch of my Saturdays for the winter. So it's kind of good. I got a bit of a winter and a summer job now, so it's kind of nice.
That's awesome. See, I like it when people can do other stuff like that. Okay, hold on. You said you were doing senior hockey?
Yeah, it's a new, they're part of the WOSHL league. They're called the Delhi Flames. So
yeah, they just lost today, did they not?
They did. Yeah, they lost to Aaron. So
that's how I know, because I follow the Aaron team.
Yes, yeah. They I will say the season wasn't didn't have the best of luck, but going and doing all the announcing, and then they let me run the music and stuff like that too. So it was kind of neat to kind of it's a different kind of whole different aspect than doing the racetrack stuff. Because racetrack stuff, you're kind of the front person the whole time. You're the voice that everybody hears. Whereas the arena, you really only kind of announce and talk when kind of needed. So it's kind of two different aspects, but you kind of use the same tools and tricks and stuff like that for each of them. So it was kind of fun. I enjoyed doing both, and they had their final home game Saturday night. So now it's switch over to race season. So it should be fun.
You know what? That's pretty cool though. I have to admit, like as soon as you said senior hockey, I was like, Delhi, I'm like, I've heard that before. I'm like, where have I heard it before? Because I was itching to try to get to a game this year up in Erin because I live in Brampton, but I a lot of time I grew up in Erin. So
Yep.
we had a junior C team. Now we have the senior hockey team, and I wanted to go check it out. And again, like today, I was like, I saw the Flames logo. I was like, oh, okay. I don't know where they're from or anything like that. And of course, as soon as he said that, I was like, oh, now the clicks.
That's kind of cool. So
That's kind of cool.
yeah.
But yeah, so that's actually pretty cool that you're able to do both all season long. Now we want to get it. We're obviously going to talk a lot about the racing stuff because that's kind of what we are. We're True North Racing Podcast, but we do love here. I know I said it earlier. We do love hearing all these stories though. When did you first get introduced to motorsports?
Oh, my dad has a picture from when I was like this tall. We would go to a bunch of tracks and he would take me to a bunch of racing and stuff like that. So he kind of introduced me to racing kind of on the NASCAR level. We lived up kind of as I was growing up, we lived north of Bowmanville. So our closest track was Mossport,
Yep.
or it's now Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. But we would go, my dad owned a home building center. So we sponsored one of the modifieds that used to run there. And so we would go to the Oval when it was still there. I know I'm not that old, but I'm dating myself a little bit. So, but the Oval was there. And so that's kind of where I kind of got introduced to it on kind of a regional level per se. And then my biggest jump was when my cousin Brent McLean, he started running Hurricane Midgets, or they're now called the Outlaw Midgets. So he started running with that club, ran there for a couple seasons, and he decided to buy an open wheel modified. So he was doing a lot of racing up at Varney, or Full Throttle now. So he was doing a lot of theirs. And then when the Oscar tour kind of kicked off, my dad and I kind of helped their team. So we ran three or four full seasons with them. We bought a super late at one point in time. We did a bunch of races down in the south. So we kind of toured around as a whole crew. And so that was really kind of my giant, introduction to regional racing across Ontario and a little bit into the northern New York state. So.
Oh, wow. That was a really I don't even know where to start with that because like a lot of information you just told us was like, first of all, getting a tour around the States. And that was with the super late, you said, right?
So the super late we kind of kept just for running the Oscar stuff.
Okay.
We only ran it a couple times. But mainly we had what they call down in the States like an SST mod. So it's a little bit more, it's a little different package than what the Oscar guys are running. So we ran Holland Speedway. Where else do we run? Perry Speedway. There's a couple other tracks that we went to. So it was kind of neat to go down there. I mean, it was a huge learning curve going down there because down there those guys take their racing. It's a whole different ball game. You think
it's
you know
a
what you're kind of
full-time
doing
job.
around here. It's wild. So it was kind of neat to just experience that as a team. And the first time we went compared to the last couple times we went was a totally different learning curve and change. First time I don't even think we made the race. The last time we made the race, finished in the top 15. So it was really neat. And so that was kind of a nice thing for our team to kind of do and tour as a group down there for a couple of the big specials they had. And it was kind of fun. It was neat to meet a whole bunch of different people and kind of experience different sort of racing outside of Ontario. So.
Wow. As you know what, that's always good though, is that it's so weird how we take racing. Like we got a lot of diehards up here and we can admit to that. But once you cross into that southern border, it's guys like I don't even know where to start. There's certain guys there who we think are our top tier teams, and they're lucky to make the top 10 down there. Like it's unreal what the difference is between Canada and how the states approach it. And that's just it's just crazy.
Yeah, it's like I said, it was a huge learning curve. We did meet, a lot of people because they're like, oh, these guys from Canada, they think we like it's like a whole different world that we live in up here. So for them, they're like, oh, these nice guys coming from Canada. And so there's a lot of people wanting to help us. And it was really great. We met he's kind of starting to take off. His name's Andy Jankowiak.
Yep.
So the very first time we went down to the States, he was kind of a guy that really helped us out. And so we ended up getting in touch with him. He actually came up and ran Autumn Colors a few years ago. He ran Sunset too. So this is still when he was kind of running his modified. Now he's got, he's starting to run the Arkham and Hard stuff. And so it's kind of neat to follow along through his career. But, when we had gone down there, he was the one that was coming over to our pit pad and was like, oh, here, do this, do this, do this. He walk around, step on it. Oh, you need to do this, this, and this to set it up for this track. So it was just it's really neat to kind of experience a whole different kind of racing family outside of Ontario. Because don't get me wrong, the Ontario guys, they're great. Everyone races as a whole, everyone tries to help themselves out here, but it's just kind of a whole different ball game and everything once you go down there. It's just neat to experience every now and then. So
Absolutely it is. Now I want to take a stab at the announcing side here with you. Like I said, you just completed your first year of announcing at Flamboro Speedway. When did you start getting into announcing, and how did the opportunity with Flamboro Speedway come about?
So the first kind of real taste of announcing that it really did, I growing up, like I was always, in grade school or whatever, doing speeches and stuff like that. I was always comfortable doing that. Kind of, my sister was playing junior hockey in Brampton, actually for the Brampton Canadettes. So for their series or for their league, they're like, oh, we need an announcer. And I was like, well, I've never done that, but why not try?
Yeah.
What can go wrong, right? Nobody's going to totally yell at me. So did that for 2 seasons while she was playing there. And that kind of started the announcing thing for me. I didn't really do anything after that for a long, long time. And then I saw the Flamboro Speedway. I followed their social medias or whatever. And I saw their post that they were looking for an announcer. And I was like, well, that would be kind of fun. Don't know what's all about. So I sent in an email off and I was like, hey, if you're still looking for an announcer, I'm interested. I've done some announcing before. I did a lot of spotting. Like that's kind of what I was mainly doing for our team when we ran the modified and super late and stuff like that. I did a lot of spotting. So I was comfortable with, the terminology and technology of the race cars. So I was like, well, never done it, but why not try? So I sent an email off, and then Gary Calling, he reached out to me and said, oh, do you have any clips of your announcing before? And I was like, oh, maybe. So I texted my dad and he's like, oh yeah, I have one clip of you doing it for the starting lineup for your sister stuff. I was like, perfect. So I sent that over to him, and then he said, oh, well, why don't you come for a meeting with me and John Caselli? And I drove over there, and I'd been to Flamboro as a pit team, and I drove in there. First off, I went to the wrong building. So I was sitting there for 20 minutes. I'm like, where are you guys? Because I have no idea where I'm going. I'm sitting in the pit tower and they're over in the turn one VIP tower. So finally, I talked with them, and then they said, yeah, like if you're committed to it, why not? We'll do it. And so I said, sure. Didn't really have a lot of information. So the first kind of crack that I had at it was we had a practice day last year, got everything set up. I was like, oh yeah, sure. The mic works, whatever. Right. Good to go. Very first race that we had last year, I was like, oh my goodness, I have no idea what I've got myself into. I knew no one's name. I knew no information on anybody. I was kind of a thrown to the wolves per se. I was like, I don't know if I can handle this, but by the end of the year, you know, I took a lot of notes and stuff like that, especially when the guys with the APC series came in. I was able to kind of sit in with Adam and his crew and kind of learn a lot from them, asked them a bunch of questions after the stuff, and kind of took a lot of information from them, and it made a lot easier throughout the season. But kind of getting started, I was kind of, it just kind of happened, and it was I'm really glad it did, because you know, since then I've had a lot of fun, and I've met a lot of new people, which is really great. So
That's awesome.
Mhm.
Because like I remember when that posting went up last year, even like I was joking, I was like, maybe I'll send one in. Because like that's like it's always been something I've always had like a not an inkling for or anything like that, but just like that'd be kind of cool. And honestly, glad to see you get it, because for one, I don't know what, you could tell me if I'm wrong, if they didn't do anything, but like for whatever reason, whatever happened, we could hear you a lot better than we could ever hear Gary. No, I'm going to be honest here. I don't know what it was, but we could hear you a lot better for where I was standing. And you know, by about the midway point of the season, I'm sitting there, I'm like, you know what? I like him. He's doing really good up there.
well,
So
I will say there was, I think it was in the middle of July, first or second week of July, kind of like halfway through the season. I had a week off because I took my family to vacation. We went to Florida for a week, so I missed it, and Gary filled in for the night. It To say it didn't go too smoothly was because the mic system was really choppy. And so Gary, you know, I kind of found the spots that the mics would work really well in, and I used we had like a plug-in house mic up in the tower. So I would stay up there a lot, and then when I'd have to go down to do the interviews, I had like one like little tiny spot that I could stand. And if the drivers didn't come over to that spot, I was like, no, we need to come over here, because if not, none of this is going to be heard at all. And so when Gary did that for the 1 week, he came back and goes, "Oh, there's a brand new mic system up top because it was not working." And I'm like, I leave for 1 week and I come back and there's a brand new mic system. We redid a bunch of the speakers. So halfway through, we made a big change, and it did help quite a bit. But you know, Gary and I talk all the time. We get along really great, and he kind of, his personality is a little bit different than mine. His is way more kind of like
yeah.
really outgoing. He's a great kindergarten teacher, because you know, he's just got way more energy than I ever will. But it's kind of, we just kind of had a little bit different styles, but I was able to kind of use some information from him, you know, and kind of use my own stuff and kind of morph it into kind of one thing. So yeah, I'm not going to take all the credit. I know 100% that the mic system got changed, and since that change, it was way better. So,
Oh yeah. And honestly, I'm gonna be honest, that helps us over in the pits too. Because, you know, as for like for a guy like myself with covering the CVMs, I'm not always able to be down in victory lane hanging with you guys, because one, I'm not running across an active racetrack while we're trying to keep a program going here.
yep.
To go down there and kind of catch the same video and audio that, you know, pedal power is collecting from turn one, and what the audio we can hear from you. It's great for me because I can stand over in turn 3 or turn 4 where I usually stand, and I'm able to get some of the conversation that I can usually use up in our posts for that week. So when that change was made, it definitely helped me with my writing for the club moving forward. So yeah, thank you, Flamboro Speedway.
Yeah, 100%. They did it all because, like I said, I went on vacation and I came back. I'm like, whoa, this is cool and super fancy. They're like, don't break it. I'm like, I will try my best not to drop it. I think the first night I dropped it. So,
Oh
um,
no.
and I was like freaking out, but it was pretty resilient. So, but yeah, no, it was really great, and we're even making more changes for this season. I guess I can kind of announce it, but
Oh,
we haven't quite, like, we've finalized the deal, but we haven't quite. They've got the stuff coming in the mail, but there's a company from the States. They're called TrackTune. Basically, what it is that whenever you go to the racetrack, we used to always have like this FM transmitter that would send out a signal and you
yep.
can hear it. it's 2023. Not a lot of people still have FM transmitter headsets anymore. Which is, it's times have changed, right? But
Yep.
there's almost everybody that comes to the racetrack has a cell phone. Well, I'm not gonna say everybody, but 90% of the people have a cell phone. So this company we've kind of got hooked up with, they're a company from the States. Basically, there's a hardware that plugs right into our soundboard. And all that it is basically there's an app you can download on your phone. And as soon as we turn the PA system on, it's live streaming on this app. And so you have direct feedback and audio right from your phone. So anybody that has like AirPods or anything like that, you turn on the app, click the live stream button, bam, instant audio right from the Speedway. So you'll be able to hear it crystal clear. We don't have any more FM transmitters trying to pick up signals and stuff like that. It's a direct broadcast right to this app. And they did it at North Wilkesboro last year when they did the track revival. Worked out really good. They used it at Bristol when they did the Dirt Car Nationals too. So we did a lot of research. Think it's going to be good, but haven't tried it yet. But from what I can hear, it's going to be really good, and it should be a pretty simple process. It's just a simple app, download on your phone, click the button, bam, you've got live audio right into your ears. So hopefully it makes the listening experience for everybody more enjoyable, because now you kind of have like a little bit of hearing protection, but at the same time you're able to listen and hear direct audio right from the Speedway. So hopefully it should be good. But
that is freaking amazing.
So could you hear that? Like, even if you weren't at the track, say you're at home. See, that would be so cool. Because like last year, if I wasn't there, I used to just sit there and I'd watch
race monitor.
Yeah, and I'm like,
Yeah,
I wish I could hear Kevin right now. I'm like, I don't know if Kate's okay. Like, I don't know what's going on. Oh,
yeah, no, so and that's kind of what we talked about. Like when the APC guys come, they do live streaming right on YouTube and stuff like that, and it's great, which is great for the sport. We haven't quite gotten there yet, but doing this, people, because I actually think I listened to the podcast when you were like, oh yeah, we were sitting around the table watching Race Monitor, like viewing it, and I was like, oh, to me, I'm like, if they could hear it at the same time, that would be a great kind of way to have both without actually, either being there or seeing it. And so now basically, as long as you have that phone, you just click the button, no matter where you are. You could be down in the Dominican Republic. As long as you have cell service and you click the button, bam, you've got instant audio right from the Speedway. So I'm hoping it works really good, and we're still finalizing some of the details, but that is going to be the plan for 2023. We're going to have hopefully at Motorama, we're going to have a banner up and everything like that. So we're really excited because it's kind of bringing Flamboro Speedway into kind of the next wave of technology. And just like I said, a lot of people have cell phones, whether or not they actually use it is up to them. But this is going to be a lot easier of a way to broadcast a signal out to everybody. So it should be fun.
See, and that was going to be my question too. Same thing as you, Megan. I was like curious. I'm like, now I wonder if I'm driving, Saturday night, I can't make it to Flamboro and I'm going somewhere else. Maybe, would I be able to listen? I'm thankful that, because it's kind of, it's new technology, but to me, it's going to be old school feels. Because if I can listen to that while I'm driving, it's no different than people who are listening to MRN radio to listen to NASCAR.
Right.
But this way, we're actually going to be able to hear the winners, because you're going to be able to go down on track and talk to them after the races. That is great to hear, because that is going to be, I don't know. Man, you just got me so excited for this year.
I see. We set this up like I want to say it was like a week and a half ago. We finally finalized everything, sent all the stuff in. I've been working with the guys at TrackTune to get everything set up. I think it's going to be posted on their website very shortly. We've got the first event coming up, and so we got the practice day, which I'm going to try it, make sure everything works. And then our first event, the Spring Fever 150, that'll be kind of the initial launch for the app, and well, not the app, but for the streaming. And I really hope it works well, because I think it's going to be really cool, because like you guys said, anybody kind of anywhere can listen. I mean, it's not going to be MRN quality. I 100% will tell you that much, but hopefully
just bring Gary in, you guys go back and forth. We'll be fine.
That's what I'm thinking, because if you have a couple people talking, you can kind of tag team it a little bit easier. And hopefully the quality of what you hear is a lot better too. So, because I know with the FM signal, because I know Pedal Power, they tried to link in the audio some of the times. Sometimes because you're trying to pick up an FM signal, the signal wasn't like crystal clear. This one, hopefully, because it's right plugged into the soundboard, it's going to be really, really great. And it should be basically what you hear via the microphone is what should be transmitting on the app. So I'm really excited about it. I hope Gary doesn't get too mad that I actually told everybody, but I know it's coming out. Like, we're going to have banners and stuff at Motorama. It'll be on our website, on the Flamboro Speedway website here very shortly. So I'm really excited about it because now everybody gets to hear my somewhat annoying voice for the whole time. So
That's gonna be so cool.
And too, for you guys, like, because like you said, sometimes you're not down in victory lane. To me, I was like, you know what, you could record the audio right from it. I don't know if they're going to have like replays on there or not, but
Yeah.
you could record the audio right from your phone and then link it up to a video later or whatever. So hopefully it's just going to add a whole bunch of different avenues for a lot of different people. Drivers, they can go to their sponsors and say, hey, like, when we, get to victory lane or the top 3 or whatever, you're going to be able to hear us a lot better. We're going to be promoting and broadcasting to a whole bunch more people. So it should sell sponsorship a lot more for everybody. So I hope that this all works together and just is kind of a really kind of good takeoff for everybody at the Speedway. So,
Man, I'm so looking forward to this. I know I'm going to try and get out there for practice day now, just so I can help, just so I can listen on the backstretch or something. Because that's like you were saying, like, it's, and even like you said, you may have heard it here too, that Megan, couldn't cheer on Caitlin properly because, like, I'm bringing up that one because I know that's our biggest one we love to talk about, is when Caitlin won last year, is that Megan wasn't at the track and she was unsure because of race monitor. Because you know how Kevin, you know how wrong race monitor can be sometimes, and it's not the track's fault. It's for whatever reason it just doesn't pick up. Because I remember I put down the wrong name one time. I was being at the track and I put down the wrong name who visited Victory Lane because I thought the race was over. Turns out it was the guy who was in third one. So I had to quickly remove that and then add it. So this is going to help add someone like myself who may not be at the track, because I'm not planning to be at the track at Flamboro, unfortunately, a lot this year with the CVMs. I wanted to do some traveling around with and do a lot of my own stuff. But there's still the times I'm going to be at Flamboro, like, I'm going to want to be able to listen, because again, it helps with the write-ups. It helps. You're right. It's going to help with sponsorship. It's going to help. Oh my God, man. You just,
I see. This is just, I'm like, this is
April
gonna be perfect
22nd.
timing. When you messaged me, I was like, this is gonna be perfect timing because I just got everything set up. I'm like, this will be great to announce it. So it's, everybody, Gary, myself, Tim, Brenda, we're all kind of really excited because it's just a different avenue for everybody. And, hopefully the technology isn't crazy hard, and it should work, hopefully, really, really well. I know there's a lot of different speedways that already use it. Seekonk uses it. So there's a whole bunch of different tracks that have used it before. And I hope it just is a great benefit to everybody. And when I first kind of looked into this, I was actually like Megan's example of sitting, looking at race monitor, not being able to understand what is going on, popped into my head. And I was like, this would be great, because then you can actually listen to it, follow along with race monitor, and kind of pair the two together. So, and also race monitor, we're putting in brand new like conduit, brand new lines and everything for the track. So hopefully the feed coming from race monitor, the transponders will pick up a lot better. So fingers crossed, this year's going to be a lot better for race monitor too. So hopefully 2023 is just taking off with a bang.
Man, this is the thing, is I talked to Gary last year and I wanted to bring him on sometime over the off season. And I was almost tempted to make this like a Flamboro Speedway like kickoff. Like, I was going to invite Gary on at the same time. At this point, I'm like, damn, I don't need to bring on Gary. I'll just bring on Kevin.
Yeah, well,
this is awesome.
I mean, Gary and I, we talk I'm not gonna, well, I'll say it, but sometimes I ignore his call because there's too many coming in. So, but no, we talk quite often,
Yeah.
and we have a great, he tells me because he's kind of Gary's role. He's really trying to take on the actual general manager and kind of have people put into place that can take over all these other positions. So he's kind of turning a lot of the social media over to myself so that he doesn't have to worry about it anymore.
Yep.
So there's going to be a lot more live streams coming because he, when he's at the track, he's running and doing like 9,000
Oh
things.
yeah.
And so he runs like a chicken with his head cut off all the time at the speedway, whether it's in the tow truck, whether it's doing the race directing, if Tim Norris is racing. So he does a whole bunch of different things, but he's trying to let other people kind of, use their strengths and take on different positions. And so far, from what I can tell, this is going to be a great year. And this is, we got lots of things in the pipeline. We got a great schedule lined up for this year.
Oh yeah.
But he and I, we talk quite often, so I'm fairly plugged in with what's going on. He doesn't tell me everything, and then he'll be like, "Oh yeah, you need to do this," and I'm like, "Oh, why didn't you tell me that like 2 weeks ago when I had time to do it?" So, but no,
I
it's really exciting.
I Kevin, I feel the same way because just like yourself, besides the announcing, I cover all of Flamboro Speedway social media.
Yep.
So same kind of deal. John and I talk usually, a few times a week to make sure the website's looking good. And you know what? I completely understand everything that you've said. I'm thinking like, because I've told Jacqueline the same thing. Like, you may think that just because the off season's here, I don't have anything to do. It's just like
Yep.
a race car. That's when the work begins.
Yep.
And first of all, you've done a great job with the website. I've enjoyed being able to look it up. Because I do scout it out, well, once or twice a week, just to see if there's any changes, if there's anything going on. You are correct. This season's schedule, I think, has a perfect mix of races. I love the fact that we're kicking off with an invitational, with an enduro, mini stock and pure stock invitational. I think that's gonna be great. There's so much going on at the track this year, and it's gonna be a great season lying ahead for us. The Canadian modifieds, they'll be there 12 times this year.
Yep.
Megan, how many times are the pure stocks there?
There's a good amount. Like, I think we get like a week off or like a weekend off every month. So I'm happy with it. I did count it up. It's all in my planner and everything, but
Yeah, no, I think John and Gary, they did a really good job with the schedule. There's lots of diversity throughout the schedule. We got the APC guys coming twice. We got the Oscar hot rods and modifieds coming a couple times. Outlaw super lates are coming twice. We're bringing back the Gold Rush 10,000 to win pro late model race, which should attract some big names because we took it away for a couple of years, kind of devoted a little bit more money to the enduro side of things. But this year we're trying to do both in hopes that you can kind of pull from two different sides of racing aspects and really make it basically the schedule is jam packed from, I think, the first night, April 29th, all the way till the end of October. So John did a really great job with the schedule, and it should be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. I love the Canadian Vintage Modifieds. When I was growing up, they were my mom's favorite car. And so, they just have like a old timey feel to them, and they still get the little bit of the ground pounding action. You can feel the stand shake. And so it's really neat to have them running at Flamboro Speedway for their whole season. And it's just really, the schedule is going to be great, and hopefully it's a great year. So
I know the one thing I missed out on last year because unfortunately we were not a part of it was the fan appreciation memorial corn roast night.
yep.
And when I saw that we were back on it for this year, I was like, yes,
Yeah.
I am so excited for that night. I don't know why, that's one of my favorite nights of racing that we have.
Yeah, it's last year, because Gary he's like, oh yeah, fan appreciation night and the corn roast. He's like, we get like a lot of people. And I was like, yeah, whatever. Like, because I can kind of gauge the crowd and stuff like that throughout the week. the fan appreciation night, I was like, oh my goodness, this place is jammed. And so, it's a little bit more stressful for me because now I'm like, well, I'm going from like a, relatively, medium sized amount of crowd to like, woof, and I'm the only one talking for the whole night. I'm like, oh my word, this is a lot to deal with, but it's really great. I think, what else do they got? The Pro Lay Malls, Pro Challenge, super stocks, mini stocks, pure stocks, vintage modified. So every kind of home track division that we have is going to be on that night. And it's really exciting because I mean, who doesn't love eating corn at the end too? So, I mean,
That's
free
my favorite
corn.
thing.
I mean, I think I dusted like 3 cobs last year, so there was gobs of butter all over the place. It was really great, and for the fans, it's really great too because it's not a lot of the times people will actually want to come over to the pit side. Which for me, when I was growing up as a kid, I was like, Dad, we gotta go to the pits. Like we
Yeah.
gotta go to the pits because it's a totally different aspect. You're like,
Oh
oh,
yeah.
these cars are so cool when you're up close, and so to come over to the pits, free corn, it's just a great kind of combination, and it made for a great night. And this year should be nothing less than that. So
Oh yeah. I'm like I said, this season I'm looking forward to I got to put my own schedule to see how many times I'm going to come out to Flamboro this year, but like that race is circled on my calendar. I'm not missing that night because because it is you're right, it is such that one and the last night for sure are 2 nights I'm going to come.
yep.
Will be a couple more throughout the season obviously, but um you're right, man. Like, and you know what, I'm so happy to hear the one thing personally, I'm gonna be just this is personal here. I've been saying for years, Flamboro Speedway has been needing to do something, and I'm so thankful to hear from you that last year they went out and got a whole new system. This year they're adding a whole new listening experience for the fans. It's a huge step in the right direction, and I feel like it's gonna help it's going to help bring Flamboro Speedway, like you said, to the 21st century. And this is something I've been wanting to hear
Yep.
for so long. And I'm so thankful to hear that we're now moving forward.
Yeah, no, it's something that when my dad, when he was growing up, they grew up just outside of Brantford in Paris, and he said when they would go to, I think they call it the Crawlinator triple 50s. I think I might be wrong, but I think that's what he used to call them. He said they were like Don Biederman, Junior Hanley, a bunch of the guys running the late models, super late models. He said that you would get there like 2 hours before the race, and the grandstand was already stuffed full with people. So we want to kind of, I mean, probably never going to get back to jam packed full, but we want to try to make improvements to make everybody be like, you know what, Saturday night, Flamboro Speedway is going to be the place to be. Because quite honestly, the location of where the track is a fantastic location. You're drawn from Hamilton, Oakville, Brantford, Niagara, like
Oh
so many
yeah.
different places you can pull from. And quite honestly, the track should be pulling from all these places because it's such a centralized location and short commutes for everybody that we should be the place that everybody wants to go on Saturday nights in the kind of this side of the GTA. So I'm really looking forward to the season. I know everybody, on the staff is John and Frank. They just celebrated the 50th anniversary last year.
Yep.
So this is, we kind of made last year a big one, but coming out of COVID, it was a little, we were still unsure a lot of things. So this year kind of taking some even further steps forward is going to be a great year. And from what I'm told from Gary and John, the plan is to have the scoreboard with working lights ready to go for the opening night. So all the lights will be up. Laps are going to be on there. I know that they were going out there. I think it was whatever last week that we had, it was nice. They were going to go start to take a look at it. So the plan is to have all the working lights on the scoreboard. So this year, hopefully we've got everything in place to make it a really enjoyable experience for everybody involved. So,
Oh, I'm so thankful to hear that, man. This was such a good idea. This is probably my smartest idea I've had in a while. You know what? I think next year, Megan, we're gonna take notes afterwards. Next year,
Mhm.
we're gonna try to get a hold of a track member from each track in Ontario and try to get them on to get them hyped up before the beginning of the season. We'll set a block aside of like all the tracks in Ontario. If they want to speak, we'll give them a slot. because this stuff gets me too hyped and I get too excited. And like I already know some of the stuff that's going on at Sawwell this year, but like I said, to me this is all stuff that not us common folk get to hear. And you're right. Flamborough should be pulling from Brant County, Halton, like Milton, Hamilton, Burlington, Oakville, KW, Guelph. Like they got such an area they can pull from, and there's so much potential. And some of these changes is going to be the start.
Yep.
To help bring Flamborough Speedway back, and I think if the one thing we all need to do, myself included, because I'm guilty of it. I've been guilty of it. I'm fully going to admit to that. We all need to stop track bashing. We all need to, like, that's the one thing we all need to stop doing. Like, we all need to stop track bashing, because what's going to happen if we lose all these places?
Yep.
Right. I don't know about you. My Saturday nights have always been tied up at a racetrack since I was 16 years old. I don't know what and again, Megan, this would end if we didn't have a place to race.
Well,
then what are we going to do Sunday nights?
I said to Gary last year, I'm like, man, like Flamborough is the closest asphalt track to me, and I love dirt tracks, but like asphalt is my place. And without Flamborough, I've got nothing, man.
Yeah.
So like, I don't want to see anything happen. Like, I want to keep it going. I want to make it great again. So
yeah,
like, I need that.
We need to start like a big campaign again of bring a friend, or like do the pack the stands thing or something. I don't know, like, because I remember the one year Flamborough did it and they got a good crowd that night.
Yep.
And and again, this is one of the things that last year, thankfully, to the staff of Flamborough Speedway, we were able to do. We hosted two or three different events there in a matter of a few weeks.
Yep.
The track raised some money for Mike Pod the one week. We had guys go over and help collect money. The one week we had the backpack giveaway, which I'm gonna be honest, between myself and Kevin, I had no clue what I was doing. I got myself way in too deep and I just made a suggestion and then I got told to run with it. And then of course we did the Change for Change light show with Scott Tonelli at the end of the year. So first of all, I gotta applaud you for helping us take this on and helping us with the announcing of and talking to Scott and helping get these kids all these backpacks, because that was I wouldn't have done that, but
that was really cool. It was great to see a lot of the smiles on all the kids' face, when they get them. Or and you feel bad, like the disappointment when they don't get them. But you can't have enough backpacks for everybody. But hopefully, the goal is, if we're planning on doing it again or whatever, then the kids, because the kids are what drive the parents to the track. If the kids like, Mom, Dad, like I have to go to the racetrack, that's what's going to get the parents in. That's what's going to get them to buy the Flamburgers. The kids are the giant ticket to a lot of people's hearts, and if you can pull on their strings just a little bit, it's what really grows the community as a whole. With the backpack giveaway, we did the kids ride night. The kids ride night is always a hit.
Oh yeah.
I was there like super early this year because I'd been to Flamborough before, but I'd never really been to like a whole, I'd been there like once or twice a year or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So this was kind of the first year that I experienced the whole season. And Gary was like, "Oh yeah, kids ride night, like the kids just like fill the place up like 2 hours before the race." And I'm like,
no, that can't be it.
No, I'm like, there's no way that they actually do this. Well, sure enough, I come in and I'm there like 2 hours before. There's already a lineup out the parking lot. I'm like, oh boy, this is gonna be a long night. So but it's just, if you can get the kids to come and they're excited to come, then you get the parents to come, then they, then they'll be like, maybe the kids want to try racing. They jump in like a junior late model or a pure stock or something like that. And that's how you grow the fans of the sport and get them involved, because, nowadays technology is a big thing and kids just want to, my 2-year-old, she can run my cell phone better than I can. And she's 2 years old. the technology is great, but if you can get them out, experience the smells, because quite honestly, the smells of the racetrack is like awesome. The
Oh yeah.
fuel, the burgers, the tires, that's a sensation you don't get watching it on TV. And so if you can get the kids and they're like super excited about that, that's what makes the sport grow. And it's not just for Flamborough, it's for all the tracks across Ontario, basically every track in the world. If you can get the kids to come, you're doing great. So
I can attest to that. Kids Ride Night is probably one of the coolest events that any track does any year.
Yep.
Like I've been a part of it as a crew member for a super stock in 2018, and he actually let me take the car out and drive it for the Kids Ride Night, and to hear the kids, to hear them laugh, oh my god! Like, man, I had people come down afterwards. They're like, it's like my kid rode in your car. Da, da, da. I'm like, well, it wasn't my car, it was my buddy's car.
Yep.
But they remember me, and it's like we saw
Yep.
you. I was like, well, he's the driver. I'm just the crew member. I wanted to get on track for once, so
Yeah.
it's such a cool feeling. We're gonna shift gears a little bit here, and we're gonna jump over to our fan question period. As you saw earlier today, we put out there that you were coming on the show, and we got some questions for you. You ready to answer them?
I'm nervous and scared altogether, but excited. So we'll see what happens. I'm hopefully nobody asks me too hard because I can't think on my toes very well. So
Well, the first question from the first person is going to be a good one. I can tell you this right now. Megan, take it away.
I was gonna say we're gonna start off strong.
oh boy, this is what makes me scared. So
He said, "Do you feel that working so closely with Gary Calling has caused you alcoholism or been negative to your mental well-being?"
it's made me appreciate how tall I am. I can tell you that much. Because standing beside him, I'm like, dude, are you even here? But no, I mean, like I said earlier, Gary and I, we have, first off, the very first time I'm like, what's this guy with this weird, like gruffy goatee, like, 4'1", trying to tell me that I'm taking over his job. I'm like, oh boy, this is going to be a long year. But we really kind of developed a great relationship. Like I said, we talk and text all the time. Some nights I sometimes do have to think about the decisions that I've made and maybe go home and have a nice stiff drink after dealing with Gary on a Saturday night. Not too often, but sometimes. But no, we've had a great relationship, and it's kind of nice because he kind of let me take the reins of this whole thing that he'd kind of built up for like a number of years. Like that was his thing for a long time. And for him to kind of just say, you know what, have at her, it was really neat. And so we've really developed a good relationship. Sometimes I got to remind him that he's a kindergarten teacher, but it's really great. I mean, I get along great with him. Everybody in the booth. I mean, Brenda, I make fun of her because she's a lot older than I am, but she's great. She's a sweetheart. She's been there since the gates opened at that place. Tim Norris, our race director, he's great to get along with. Watching him and his kids race too in the Pro Challenge Series, it's great. So the relationships that we have with everybody at the Speedway is really great. So it's a lot of fun.
That's awesome. I have 4 more from Rob. He said, "What announcers have influenced you, and what announcers have you modeled your style after?"
Like I said, I took a lot of the information that Gary kind of gave me. But really, when I looked at the stuff from the guys that the APC did with Adam and those guys, it really made me appreciate the craft and everything that they put in. Like when they do the Penty series and stuff like that, that's a full on production. Same with the APC stuff. It's a whole different world of how you have to think and how you have to have your notes prepared. So for me, I kind of looked at that because they kind of gave me like a template of how their notes actually were, because before that I had it on like Microsoft Word and I was trying to like fumble my way through all the different notes and stuff like that. But seeing their style of how they do it really helped me. It made it a lot easier for me. So that kind of aspect, I took a lot of notes from those guys. At the same time, I kind of brought my own sort of, I don't know if flair is the right word, but um, taking, the ideas and stuff that I've learned going through motorsports. I did that a lot as well for this season, but kind of bridging a whole bunch of different personalities and everything together, kind of led it to where it is. And hopefully it gets better. Cause like I said, at the start of the last year, it was not good at all. But as the season went on, I got a lot more prepared, and it made things just a lot easier. The nights flowed a lot smoother. So hopefully going into year two, it's going to be really, really great.
What track, event, or series, local or worldwide, would be on your announcer bucket list?
Oh man. I myself, like, because I said like my cousin and I, and his family, like we ran with the Oscar Tour for a while in the modified division, and to me, I love the modifieds. When they came, I was like, oh, I just love the modifieds. So to me, having open wheel modifieds at Flamboro Speedway is really cool. I've bugged Gary for like the whole year last year. I was like, what we need to do, and I don't know if this is possible, but the ROC modifieds, the Race of Champions modifieds tour that runs in the northern New York, bringing them up, they're a full blown tour modified series. Bringing them to Flamboro Speedway would be like just awesome. I know they came to Jukasa a couple years ago, put on a great race. Bringing them to Flamboro, the borders are opening up a little bit more now. So bringing them to Flamboro, I think that would be, really cool, because I don't think getting the NASCAR wheel and modified tour is going to happen ever. So the ROC is probably one of the closest things, and they're not too far away. So I think having them come a full blown tour modified, with the big tires on them and everything, it's exciting to say the least. So that's really, I would love to see a full blown tour modified series come to Flamboro.
That'd be cool. If you could work with any other announcer or racing personality, alive or dead, who would it be?
Oh man. One guy I've always kind of listened to a lot. You mentioned MRN, like Dave Moody. I always had his voice is just something that I've always kind of, whenever you hear it on MRN or when he does Serious Speedway, like it's a voice that kind of sticks with you in your head. And I always thought that would be really cool to be able to work like MRN style with him and his team. I was always, as a kid, I'd be like, oh, try to, I'd have my race cars in a circle in my bedroom, and I'd be like, off of turn 2, and doing stuff like that. I always envisioned myself. I never thought I'd actually do it. But being able to work with like the MRN team and do like that style where they do like play by play of the race, I think is really cool. I got to do it once when we were running the Oscar Modified Tour. Clayton Johns, he was doing the announcing for them. We were up at Varney Motor Speedway, and he's like, hey, do you want to come up in the booth with me once? And I was like, yeah. So I went up for a set of heat races. We did like MRN style. It was really cool. So that was kind of like my first taste at it. But doing that type of setup would be really cool.
And Twitch's last question is, of all the post-race interviews you have done, what driver does it best and what was the worst?
Oh man. This is a tough question. This is a really tough question because I don't want to make anybody mad. You're putting me in a hard spot here. Actually, see, I'd say Rob, but I didn't get to talk to him too much. So no, I think everybody, because it's totally like the big thing, like for me, is being able to, when like Caitlin got her first win or Mike Gilmore got his first win, seeing the reaction of the drivers when they come out and they're just so genuinely happy. I don't even have to say anything. You just put the mic in their face and then they just let them go. And I just think that's the coolest because, it just shows pure raw emotion. So anybody that got their first win or anything, for the most part, anybody that was in victory lane, I loved interviewing because they just had so much. I didn't talk to too many disappointed people down in victory lane, to say the least. So I love doing all the interviews, and I just thought it was a really cool aspect during the whole season. But Caitlin and Mike really stood out to me for sure because they just had so much pure raw emotion when they got out of the race car. It was really cool.
I think everybody's lucky they didn't have to interview me after mine because I would have just been a sobbing mess. Like,
See that
saved everybody.
I always in the back of my mind I was like, what happens if somebody just starts breaking down here? I'm like, oh boy, I don't know what to do. Like I've just never been put into that position. So thankfully it hasn't happened yet. But
Don't worry,
you know,
Megan
like
will put you in that position this year.
I mean, it's something that I have thought about, but because you know the I think too at the same time though, because if the fans see like just the pure raw emotion of just like breaking down, they're like, oh my goodness, this actually means so much to the driver that it's just they can't even comprehend how much it actually means to the driver. So I think it's really cool to just see the raw emotion from everybody that comes on the race car.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
And J.R. Fitzpatrick asked, what was your favorite race of the year?
Ooh, there was a lot of good ones. Quite honestly, probably the pro late model race that we did at Frosttoberfest. Andrew Gressel, JR, all battling for the win. That was a really good one. The super stock race, actually the whole Frosttoberfest weekend was great. The super stock race with Brandon McPherson passing Lane Zardo on turn 3 and 4 of the final lap was great. I'd say probably those two races really stuck out to me because I always find that the exciting finishes are the ones that really kind of stick out to you because those are what people are going to remember, right? So not too many people remember what happened on lap like 37. But the final last lap corner pass, you know, restarts with a couple laps to go, it just made it really, really, really interesting. And the fans were all like hyped up. I had like zero voice left when I was done for that weekend, and trying to announce that Andrew and JR were battling for the win there on the final restart on the Pro Lates. Just I was like, coming over. I could hardly speak. So, you know, usually to me, that's a good sign that the weekend went really well. So,
I think that's my favorite battle of the whole year.
it was really good. It was really good. Yeah.
I think that was all of them.
Should have been one more.
Or did I miss one? So I thought I saw one more on the.
Yeah, there's one more on Instagram. I forgot to. I thought I shared it. I'll do this one.
Yeah.
Cam Thompson from Instagram
boy.
goes, "Who's your favorite person to interview?" with a winky emoji.
I
gotta add that in there.
Cam was really good. You know, like I said, the raw emotion of every driver that gets out is really fun. Cam was really good because he just let her fly, which is really neat. It's always good to have a lot of diversity when you do the interviews. You know, the same people winning over and over again. People are like, oh yeah, you know, they're going to say the same sponsors or whatever. Right. So, but having like the Pure Stocks had a whole bunch of different winners this year, which was really, really cool. And being able to see each driver get out. I just say Cam was great, but I'm not going to specifically say him, but I'd say anybody in the Pure Stock division was genuinely really intriguing to interview, because when you get to the guys with the Pro Late models, you know, they got a lot more experience with doing this type of thing. The Pure Stocks is just like, it's really raw and it's really fun. Like it's really neat because they get out and they're like, whoa, you know, they're so excited. They're just full of energy and they just say whatever is on their mind. Because it's, you know, sometimes it's the first interview they've ever done. And so I'd say any of the drivers in the Pure Stocks that I got to interview was really, really fun. So.
And that concludes our fan question period for this week. We want to thank everyone for submitting their questions in, and of course we got to thank our guest Kevin for answering them this week, because you know, I love doing this segment because I never know what's going to come down the pipeline. Because there's times where like there's certain people I know who are going to ask questions, and then there's others who I'm like, I don't know what's going to come out of some people's mouths or what they want us to say. There's been times we've had to veto questions. I know a lot of times we just let them fly, because to me, this is one of the fun things we get to do is we can sit here, have a general conversation about anything, But then we got people out here who are like, look at Twitch. Right? Twitch asks the most random questions when he knows the person on the show.
Yep.
And to me, it always just ends up being one of the best questions we have. And it just makes to me, it makes the whole conversation worth a lot better. Because when you don't know when you know certain people, when you see their name pop up, I'm like, oh boy, this is gonna go terribly wrong or horribly right. We'll figure it out. But if you guys want to ask some questions, stay tuned every Sunday to the show, or not to the show because we're not recording yet. Check out our social medias by about noon on Sundays to see who our guests will be that week. I've been announcing them a couple days prior, and I find we're getting more questions that way. So I think about the Thursday or Friday, I think we're going to continue to start asking, putting out there who the guest is, because then it gets us more involved and more questions asked instead of an 8-hour time window on Sundays when people are probably sitting at home watching the NASCAR race. They don't want to. Yep. I don't want to find the Joe Media Promotions guy. Well, Kevin, we're not going to take too much more of your night here tonight. Of course, we want to thank you for joining us this week. We can't wait. I personally, Megan, I'm not going to speak for Megan. Megan can say this herself. I personally cannot wait to get back to Flamboro Speedway this summer, and I'm looking forward to seeing the changes. I'm looking forward to hopefully being a part of some stuff. Maybe the CVMs might help try and put on. Maybe we might try to do a backpack giveaway again in September. I think that I want to say it went horribly right. Because I'm gonna admit, like, on the backside, people were like, "What do we need this? Do we need that?" I'm like, "Hell if I know." Here's a list.
Yeah, that was it. The best part I think of that whole experience was I'd look at the piece of paper, I'd be like, what's this actual name? I don't know what this name is. And I'd be like, okay, hopefully I'm not butchering this, but it was that night, that was really fun. It was great to see, the CVMs are a great group, and having their involvement with the track is always awesome.
I still think I got some. I'm not gonna speak out loud on this one, but Kevin, if you want to hang on once we stop recording here, I had an idea and I've been wanting to pitch it to someone for a while now.
I'm all ears.
Because I think it'd be really cool content for both the track and for the club. But like I said, if you just want to hang on for 2 minutes here, I'll quickly throw out my idea that I've had for like 3 years now. That's the worst part. I've had sitting on this idea for 3 years. Usually this is the time of the show where we usually let our guests thank their sponsors, thank their family. Of course, being an announcer, I guess you can thank the track sponsors, but we'll let you have the floor here for the next couple minutes. You're more than free to thank anyone you want who's helped you get to where you are now. Anyone you want to thank, you got the floor. The floor is yours.
Oh boy, this is big time now. This is this is great. No, I think first I really got to thank my wife. When the whole kind of ordeal happened, our little one was still really little, and I was like, I'm going to be gone like a decent amount in the summer on Saturday nights. First off, I didn't realize how many nights it actually was. And I'm like, there's like 29 weeks I have to be at the racetrack every Saturday night. So it basically kills the whole summer. So I really got to thank her for putting up with me, leaving at 3:30 in the afternoon, 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturdays to go to the racetrack and not coming home until 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning sometimes. So I really got to thank her because she was kind of the rock, and it really, it made being able to go to the racetrack really easy. And it was really, a really great being able to work as a team with her. My mom and my dad, like I said, my dad kind of got me into racing, which was really, really great. He took me to a whole bunch of racetracks, and so without them kind of introducing me to this would have never happened. Same with my cousin Brent McLean, Brian McLean. those guys kind of starting with the racing with the Oscar stuff really kind of allowed me to get my foot in the door a little bit more. You know, I did a lot of spotting with them. It even helped. I ended up doing spotting for a couple of truck races up at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park too with Gary Clute. So it was kind of neat to be able to experience that. I gotta thank Gary Calling, because you know, without him kind of turning over the reins, none of this would have really happened. Jon and Frank Caselli as well. You know, they've put a lot of hard-earned time and years at Flamboro Speedway to keep it where it is. And like I said, we're making big changes to kind of hopefully set the speedway up to kind of keep it on the rise for the next bunch of years. So I gotta thank them, because without them, you know, I wouldn't have a position at the track. So I think that's probably it. I gotta thank you guys for letting me come on, because I know you guys, you know, you guys do a lot of the drivers, and you know, I was a little worried. I was like, oh, what am I gonna talk about for like half an hour, 45 minutes? I have no idea. So I gotta thank you guys for letting me come on, because this was kind of it was fun, and a different avenue to really kind of express the whole situation with what's going on at the racetrack, and a great kind of marketing tool for gearing up for the season. So I'm really excited, and thanks for letting me come on.
Well, thank you for joining us. And that, you know what, this is the fun part, is like, because I got to feel the same way like a few months ago, is that I'm gonna be honest, how often have you been interviewed
Never.
about now? I feel like this is the one time that we get to turn stuff around on other people. And you know what, that's the fun part, is when sometimes we get to talk to people that, you know, you tell a story at the track each week. You tell a story of people sit here and go, we just turn left. It's more than that. And it's guys like yourself, Jim Irvin up at Sauble, all the announcers, Adam Ross, Clint Jeffrey, you know, all these guys. You guys paint a picture and you guys tell us a story of a race. And without you guys, we're just sitting there watching cars go in a circle.
Yeah.
It's for real
Literally.
though. If it's not for you guys, we're just watching guys, you know, go in a circle. And you know what? We thank you. I can't wait to you're gonna be at Motorama?
I don't know if I'm gonna be there. I know Gary for sure is gonna be there. He's
Yeah.
trying to drag me with him, but I might just decline that phone call again, but we'll see. I might go for one of the days, but I know that we've got a couple cars coming up. I know Mike Thompson, he's messaging me about some stickers and stuff for his car, so I know we're gonna have a couple cars there as well. Like I said, we're gonna have, hopefully, if they show up in time, we're gonna have the banners for that Track Tune app, which is really, quite honestly, this is a big thing we've been working on for the off season. So hopefully the banners show up so that we can kind of unveil it, because quite honestly, I'm pretty sure we're the first track. I think there's one in BC, but other than that, we're the first track in Canada. I actually tried to download the app and it said it was not available in our country. So I was like, this could be a problem. And they're like, oh yeah, let's get our software team on that. And so like a day later, they're like, okay, you should be good now. I was like, wow, I just made an app appear in Canada. That was impressive. So it's really exciting. And so like I said, we're gonna have some stuff there at Motorama. I might be there. We'll see. But Gary, he's the show. He's what everybody wants to see and talk to, anyways. So everybody loves him. I'm just a little background guy. So
Well, I know I'll be there both days, creating content for Sauble Speedway for the CVMs. So if you're happen to be there, I may pop by and see you. If not, I will probably see you on April 22nd or May 6th.
perfect.
So enjoy the rest of your off season. Get those vocal cords ready to be yelling at some of these drivers. Come April 29th. And yeah, man, enjoy the rest of the off season.
Awesome. Well, like I said, I appreciate you guys letting me on, and hopefully 2023 is a great season for you guys and for Flamboro Speedway, because the reaction that we're getting so far has been pretty good. So hopefully it should be fun.
For sure. Well, thank you so much, Kevin, for joining us this week on the True North Racing Podcast. That's been Kevin Small, everyone. All right, guys, that was Kevin Small, the announcer at Flamboro Speedway. I don't know about y'all, but I definitely just got hyped for the 2023 season. He dropped some breaking news I'm excited for. Megan, how did you enjoy that?
It was really cool. Like, I don't get me wrong, I really enjoy talking to other drivers, but to talk to somebody like Kevin who's like inside the track and stuff, and like it's a different perspective, and it's really cool. I really enjoyed talking to him. Like, I'd much rather talk to him in Victory Lane maybe, but like, you know, we'll see. But he's cool. Like, you don't really get to, like, you hear him all the time, but like you don't get
It's
to really have a conversation.
See, here's the thing: is my first introduction with him last year was during Meet the Drivers Night,
Mhm.
and then he just spotted me out and was like, "Oh, we got Jon from Joe and Media over here." I'm like, "Excuse me?
You know me?
Howdy? Yeah." Oh my God! I just got a story. We have been spotted.
What?
Yeah, and so Jacqueline, as you know, Jacqueline got a new job, and she's working in Brampton, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we were she'd been meaning to bring this up to me, but she kept forgetting for about like 2 weeks. She said there's a lady that she worked with spotted the Joe Media sticker on the back of her car. And this lady goes, "Hey, I know Joe Media." And Jack was like, "Oh, how do you know Joe Media?" And she's like, "I go to Sunset Speedway with my kids." And who do we have running at Sunset Speedway that are Joe Media drivers?
Right.
We got Madison Teen Camp, we got Nick Tooley, and we got Sierra Gianni.
Mm-hmm.
We got 3 drivers up there. And in my mind, I'm like, and of course they're like, "How do you know?" It's like, well, Jomo's my fiance. Sure, she doesn't say it like that because I would just sound so weird for her to say. But yeah, we had been spotted by someone who knows us because of uh seeing stickers on a race car at Sunset Speedway.
That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool in my opinion. I don't know, I just wanted to bring that up. I thought that was cool. Um I wanted to continue on here because one of the things okay, so we're gonna touch on what you want to talk about here in a second here. But I'm gonna be honest, I'm so thankful that I got to tell Kevin an idea I've been sitting on for 3 years
Mm-hmm.
because I think it would be so great for the speedway, and again, great for content making for the
Yeah.
track, for any division that races there, and it'd just be great. I feel like if we can get everything lined up, it would be money in the bank.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not money in the bank per se, but it would be a nice return for everyone.
Definitely.
Unfortunately, we let Kevin go before Megan got a chance to say what she thought of it just after he left. Megan, what was this idea you had?
I okay, as an ECE, like, I'm big on the kids side of it and like bringing kids into racing. And like, I'm pretty sure Flamboro had some form of like a kids club at one point. And I don't know if that's even a thing anymore, but I've desperately wanted to like redo that or like revamp it, like, and see what I could do. But like, I would need to talk to someone from Flamboro and talk to other drivers, see if like anybody would pitch in and like help, because I mean, as a driver, I can't really do it all myself every weekend. It's a lot. But like, even to just simply give out like coloring pages, and like you can get little packs of crayons from the dollar store, give those out, give hero cards, like stickers from your sponsors, like it gets your sponsor out there. Like, you could do a lot of different things, and I think it would help draw the attention from the kids to the track and like really make them want to go. Like, I think it'd be really cool.
I 100% agree, because we always preach that the kids are the next generation.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think it was the one idea that I thought was so cool. I think it was Ryan Houston that sent out to a school a picture of like just a blank Cobalt, because he races a Cobalt or a G5. I'm not sure.
yeah,
Same thing, different file. And like he got kids at the school to design a car for him. That would be so freaking cool. Like, I was obsessed with that. I'm like, man, like, kudos to you. That's wicked.
again, the one thing that I love to see is, because do you I know you're that it reminds me of the stuff that NASCAR did, in my opinion, was like almost at its peak for me. Was like 07 to 2010.
Mhm.
They had paint or make your own Toyota race car, and it
Oh
could
my
be
God.
and it could have been a chance to be involved or to be run at a racetrack.
Was that the online thing?
It was an online thing. Kyle Busch's car was literally kittens and unicorns.
I'll be honest, I designed a lot of cars for Kyle Busch when they did that. And just know that I was not a Kyle Busch fan. So they were
But
they like,
again,
I'm pretty sure I made the car sponsored by Jack Astor's, because I'm like, Jack like but that it was so cool. Like, I loved it.
man, that was I've even put myself into that one a few times. But you know what, Ryan Houston did it correctly. Him
Mhm.
and the Ohana Acres Racing did me. Oh my god, I'm sorry everyone for all this coughing. They did it correctly. They went to a single school and let an entire school design their car. And
Mhm.
like, you know, people do, like Alex Stewart, he does the he picks a drive, or not, he decides to pick like 5 of the best paint schemes that got the most likes. And
Yeah.
those are the ones that get involved, right? And I feel like to me, that's a great way to, one, possibly bring a new family out that's never been involved in racing. 2, great way to even just make in general a whole uh it gives a chance for an opportunity for a bunch of kids to be like happy that like I get to color, and it could, and even if they're in kindergarten, they don't know that's going to be on a race car, or it's kids in grade 5 and they know kind of understand. It's a great way to get the kids involved and go out there to the community, because the one big thing for me
Mhm.
is it involves being in the community, because we love our race cars, and I understand this. I get this. You don't want all the times your prized possession to be outside in public. Me, I you would have to tell me to put it away.
Yeah.
You would have to tell me to go home, stay home,
Yeah.
because any community event I could, it would be there.
Mhm.
Because if you want the community behind you, or you want to get out there and show these people what not what you want, but what you're made of,
Mhm.
and possibly land a new sponsor, possibly land new people to come to the track. We always talk about that. Is that, in my opinion, we got to get out to the communities, even a small community that doesn't always understand that there's people in your town that race.
Mhm.
So like next year, I'm gonna try and talk to Taylor, from Taylor to You. Maybe we'll see about getting if anyone's car is at least somewhat okay after the season,
Mhm.
and put it on a trailer and do a Christmas parade.
Yeah.
Get it into Christmas parades. Get him, take him to your local shows.
Even with the whole coloring idea, I just thought of something. I'm not gonna release it yet until it's like official. But our newest sponsor, it's a restaurant. And last time we went there, it that's all
And
I'm
so
gonna
is
say
it
about it.
official?
Not like officially in writing and everything, but like there's a meeting being set up.
Oh,
Like they're pretty committed. So I'll
yes.
release it when it's like totally official.
Okay.
But last time I went there, I noticed we sat at a table that was just being cleaned off, and a family with kids had sat there. They had this picture of like, I don't know what it was. It was like an old Camaro, like a coloring page. And that's what they gave the kids to do. And I'm like, bro, that's genius. Like, I can print off a picture of each of our cars, put at the bottom of it our name, our division, put Flamboro's logo up in the corner, give it to them, and say, like, here, use this to give to kids to color while they're waiting for their meal. Like,
Yeah.
and that can even kind of draw them in and be like, Flamboro Speedway, man, that's 10 minutes up the road. Like, let's go.
Yep. Let's
Like,
find
there's
out
a
when they're
lot you
racing.
can do. Yeah.
There's a lot we all can do, right? It's that's why we do this. That's why we do a lot of the stuff that we do. Is we want to. I'm chasing the new fan, trying to chase new fans, so that the tracks can work on keeping the old ones.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it. Is I want to chase these new ones, and to get into some of these communities that may not know that there's race cars available or race car. You know, I haven't seen a race car in the Aaron Parade. Meanwhile, I know there's 3 or 4 families that race there.
Yeah, exactly.
Last time I've ever seen and thankfully we saw people this past year in Santa Claus parades. And that could have been over the moon for them. Right? So I don't know.
Yeah.
Just so much we can do.
Like, we put our old Thunder car into a parade like years ago, like 2006, 2007. And I mean, don't get me wrong, like there was a lot of cool floats out there. We won first prize because like it was cool. Like, we were the only car out there. Here's this old Chevelle all painted up. Looks cool. Like, it was literally just the car sitting on the trailer with me and my siblings in the car and my dad driving our old freaking van. And we won first prize for it because we were the only ones with a race car, and it was cool.
Yeah.
So, and there's a lot of good competition out there for that. So, like,
oh yeah,
you'd be surprised. Like, people, they really enjoy it. It's really cool.
Oh yeah.
And again, it gets your sponsors out there.
Exactly. It's always the return on investments that we I always say as racers because as if I'm one. But that's why I do what I do as well. That's why I do Joe Media. I try and help your sponsors get a return on investment by creating essentially your own web page within a website. So if you want to post something about let's say you wanted to have your own race update section where each week you write your own race report, you send it to me, I can upload it the next day.
Yeah.
And again, eyeballs go to the website, people can see it. So we can go on and on about this for hours.
Yeah.
And I feel like, again, this is one of those times we're going to need to sit down middle of the week, 6 o'clock, and just see what happens after 3 hours. We both know we can be on here for 3 hours and not break a sweat.
Literally.
We know this. And then see what comes up. But maybe we'll have to do more conversations like that going forward because they're always good ones to have. But yeah, we're looking. Megan, are you looking forward to the changes that Flamboro Speedway has made?
Big time. Like, I think I'm more excited now than I was before.
Are you hoping that the idea I threw out to Kevin somehow goes into play?
I hope so.
I hope so too. Because
it'd be really cool.
Going to the track today. I'm like,
literally. I did that.
I started this, but I think we need to cut off this conversation before we continue on, because like we said, we could talk on and on about how we can help make racing better, what the ideas we have. You guys have your 3 cars ready to come, almost ready to, by the sounds of it, ready to come on out. Lots of teams, lots of cars coming out by the sounds of it this year. I've already downloaded what Kevin had talked about in the interview. I actually, if we like this is going before or something like that. I've already downloaded the app that Kevin talked about in an interview while like we were finishing up with him. So I already have it. I can't wait to be able to use that on the first day I get to go to Flamboro Speedway this year.
That'll be exciting.
Oh yeah. Other than that, I think we're ready to wrap up the show for this week. That's episode 87, 86.
I think so.
Oh my! I just edited the stuff today too. Oh my god! You know what? No one ever said I was
87.
smart. It is 87. So that's gonna do it for episode. That is gonna do it for episode 87 of the True North Racing Podcast. We want to thank everyone for listening to us rant and go on like we usually do for our hour and a half programs. Thank you again for Kevin Small for joining us this week. Next week we will have the driver of the number 16 rebranded number 16S, Alex Stewart, joining us next weekend to discuss his 2023 plans, and that's gonna be an interesting conversation. It's gonna be a lot of fun to find out what his plans are, and yeah, we're gonna have some fun with that conversation. For Megan, where can they catch you on social media?
Instagram at mrc.racing.73. Facebook is just MRC Racing, and TikTok is MRC Racing 73, no spaces or nothing.
Well, and you guys can catch myself, Jomo Media, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and YouTube. Of course, we got it because the episodes go to YouTube. I don't know why, but you guys can stay up to date on everything going on with us, including our drivers' profiles, our drivers' spotlights, and so much more by visiting joemedia.ca. For Megan Mitchell, I'm John Morrison. We'll see you guys next week. Bye now.
Yeah.
Under the lights, hear the engine rooming by. Smell the gas and feel the vibe. Going into overdrive. Drop the flag, then the car zooming by. Hey, True North Racing, let's go.